Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to Epic Discoveries, where we discover the places around the world. We're back with another adventure, and this time, we're not just hopping on a subway. No sir, we're heading north. Way north, to the land of the midnight sun, Alaska. We're talking massive glaciers, towering mountains, wildlife you wouldn't believe, and a whole lot of wilderness. I've always been drawn to places that feel untouched, where you can still get a sense of raw, natural beauty. Alaska is that times 1,000. So if you're anything like me, and you've got a serious case of wanderlust, buckle up. We're about to embark on a virtual journey through the top 10 bucket list destinations in Alaska. Trust me, after this video, you're gonna be emptying your piggy banks, booking that flight, and getting ready for an experience that'll stay with you long after you've unpacked your bags. Let's do this thing. First up, we're talking Denali National Park, home to the big guy himself, Denali. Now this isn't just a mountain, it's a behemoth, a giant among giants, soaring over 20,000 feet into the sky. Imagine this. You're driving through the park, surrounded by forests, rivers, and then bam! Denali just punches through the clouds. It's a sight that'll make your jaw drop, guaranteed. But Denali's more than just a pretty face. It's a playground for adventurers, hikers, climbers, and wildlife enthusiasts. We're talking grizzly bears, caribou, wolves, the whole crew. Just remember, respect the wildlife, keep your distance, and for goodness sake, carry bear spray. Alright, so we've conquered Denali, now let's head south to Anchorage, Alaska's largest city. Now don't let the city title fool you, Anchorage is about as wild and untamed as it gets. We're talking a city nestled between mountains and ocean, where you can go from hiking a glacier to sipping a craft beer in like an hour. It's the perfect blend of urban excitement and Alaskan wilderness. And speaking of excitement, Anchorage is a hub for art, music and culture. Think world-class museums, live music venues, and enough coffee shops to fuel your caffeine addiction for weeks. Plus, the food scene here is off the hook. Fresh seafood, local brews, and don't even get me started on the reindeer sausage. Yeah, you heard me right, reindeer sausage. It's a thing, and it's delicious. Alright Juneau, population, roughly 30,000. Yeah, you heard that right. The capital of Alaska, a state known for its vast wilderness, has a smaller population than a New York City block. But don't let that fool you, Juneau is bursting with character. See, Juneau's not connected by road. You can only get there by plane or boat. Talk about remote. This isolation has bred a unique independent spirit in Juneau, and it shows. The people here, they're a different breed. They're tough, resourceful, and fiercely love their state. You can feel it in the air, this sense of community, of shared experience. It's like everyone here's on this grand adventure together, surrounded by towering mountains and this incredible raw beauty. And let me tell you, the stories you hear in Juneau, there's something else. There's this guy, a fisherman, who swore he saw a whale jump completely out of the water right in the harbor. Or this other time, I was hiking up Mount Roberts, and this bald eagle swooped down right over my head. I swear, it was like something out of a movie. Juneau's the kind of place where the line between reality and legend gets a little blurry, you know? Okay Fairbanks, let's talk about the extremes, because Fairbanks is all about pushing the limits. We're talking about a place that experiences nearly 24 hours of daylight in the summer and almost complete darkness in the winter. I mean, can you imagine living somewhere where the sun barely sets for months? Fairbanks is about as far north as you can get in the U.S., and it's that unique location that makes it one of the best places on the planet to see the northern lights, the aurora borealis. Seeing those dancing lights in the sky, it's like a religious experience. Seriously, it's that awe-inspiring. I remember the first time I saw them in Fairbanks. It was late August, just after midnight, and I was freezing my butt off, but I didn't even care. The sky just exploded in these waves of green and purple, like nothing I'd ever seen before. And the best part? You can actually see the northern lights in Fairbanks for about 8 months out of the year, so you have plenty of chances to catch them. Alright, Glacier Bay National Park. Buckle up, kids, because we're about to get epic. This place is 3.3 million acres of pure, unadulterated Alaskan wilderness. We're talking towering glaciers, pristine fjords, and wildlife encounters that will stay with you forever. Now, you can't just drive into Glacier Bay. The best way to experience it is by boat, either on a cruise or, even better, a smaller tour boat. That way, you can get up close and personal with the glaciers, the whales, the whole 9 yards. I remember this one time, I was on a small boat tour, and we were cruising alongside this massive glacier, probably a couple of 100 feet high, and suddenly, we heard this loud crack. And then, a huge chunk of ice, the size of a small building, just broke off the glacier and crashed into the water. The sound, the spray, the sheer power of it, it was insane. Alright, we're talking Kenai Fjords National Park, guys. This place is insane. Imagine towering cliffs, glaciers plunging into the ocean, whales breaching. It's like something straight out of a nature documentary, but you're actually there. Kayaking here is an awesome experience. We're talking close encounters with seals, otters just chilling, and a bald eagle swooping down right over your heads. The scale of this place is hard to comprehend. We're talking 600,000 acres of pure wilderness. It's humbling, you know? You feel so small against the backdrop of these massive glaciers and mountains. It really puts things in perspective. And the silence, man, the silence is deafening. Except for the occasional crack of a glacier, or the cry of a bird, it's just you and the raw power of nature. But here's the thing, even though it feels totally remote, Kenai Fjords is surprisingly accessible. You can take boat tours, go kayaking, even hike on a glacier. It's the perfect place to disconnect from the noise of everyday life and reconnect with something bigger than yourself. Alright, let's talk Ketchikan, Alaska. This place is like stepping back in time to the days of the gold rush. Except instead of gold, it's salmon. Seriously, this town is obsessed with salmon. And I mean obsessed. Now if you are from New York City, where the only thing running wild are the rats in the subway. So seeing thousands of salmon fighting their way upstream was pretty mind-blowing. There's this one spot, Creek Street, where you can actually see the salmon leaping up this fish ladder. It's like an all-natural obstacle course for fish. But Ketchikan is more than just salmon, even though they are pretty darn important. This place is steeped in Native American history and culture. You can visit the Totem Heritage Center and see these incredible totem poles, some of them over 100 years old. It's like walking through an outdoor museum. And speaking of history, Ketchikan has a pretty wild past. It was a major hub during the gold rush, and let's just say, things got a little crazy back then. Saloons, gambling dens, the works. You can still feel that frontier spirit today, which makes it a pretty unique place to visit. Alright, we're heading south now to Stika, Alaska. This place is different. It's got this whole Russian vibe going on, which makes sense, because it used to be the capital of Russian Alaska. Yeah, you heard that right, Russian Alaska. Walking around Sitka, you'll see these beautiful Russian Orthodox churches with their onion domes and colorful facades. It's like stepping into a fairy tale, especially when the sun is shining and reflecting off the water. And the food, man, the food. You've got your traditional Russian fare, like borscht and blini, but with an Alaskan twist. Think fresh seafood, wild berries, that kind of thing. It's a culinary adventure for sure. But Sitka isn't stuck in the past. It's got this cool blend of history and modern culture. You've got art galleries showcasing local artists, trendy coffee shops, and even a craft brewery scene. It's a town that embraces its heritage while still looking towards the future. And the people here are amazing. They're so friendly and welcoming. Alright, we're cruising into number 9 on our Alaskan hit list. Seward. This place is like the cool kid in high school who also happens to be a straight A student and star athlete. It's got it all. Stunning scenery, awesome wildlife, and enough outdoor activities to make your head spin. Seward is located at the head of Resurrection Bay, which, by the way, is just as epic as it sounds. We're talking glaciers plunging into the water, whales breaching like it's a choreographed show, and mountains that'll make your jaw drop. Trust me, I've seen some things, and this place is special. Seward itself is a pretty chill town, with a population of about 3,000 people who are lucky enough to call this place home. The vibe is super laid back, and there's a real sense of community here. Everyone's connected by their love for this incredible place, and it shows. Now, let's talk about the main attraction. Kenai Fjords National Park. This place is like stepping into a nature documentary. We're talking massive glaciers, hidden coves, and more marine life than you can shake a stick at. One of the coolest things you can do in Seward is hop on a dog sledding tour. I'm talking about real-deal Alaskan huskies pulling you across the snow-covered wilderness. It's an experience that'll stay with you long after you've thawed out. But here's the thing about Seward. Even if you're not into adrenaline-pumping activities, there's still plenty to keep you entertained. You can wander around the charming downtown area, grab a bite to eat at one of the local restaurants, or just soak up the incredible views. And speaking of views, make sure you take a hike up Mount Marathon. It's a bit of a climb, but the panoramic views from the top are absolutely worth it. You'll see everything from the town of Seward to the sprawling wilderness of Kenai Fjords National Park. Alright folks, we've made it to our final destination on this Alaskan escapade. Homer, also known as the halibut fishing capital of the world. But don't let that fool you, this place is way more than just a fishing town. Homer sits at the end of the Sterling Highway, which means it's literally at the end of the road. And let me tell you, this is one road trip you don't want to miss. The drive down is absolutely breathtaking, with views of volcanoes, glaciers, and the vast Alaskan wilderness. Now Homer itself is a pretty unique place. It's got this artsy bohemian vibe that you don't really find anywhere else in Alaska. Think coffee shops filled with local artists, galleries showcasing incredible artwork, and a general sense of creativity in the air. But don't worry, Homer hasn't lost touch with its rugged Alaskan roots. You can still find plenty of opportunities for outdoor adventure here, whether it's fishing for halibut, kayaking with otters, or hiking through the surrounding mountains. Speaking of adventure, you can't come to Homer without checking out the Homer Spit. It's this long, narrow strip of land that juts out into Ketchikan Bay, and it's basically a hub for all things Alaskan. You'll find everything from fishing charters and kayaking tours to restaurants, shops, and even a few hotels. It's a bit touristy, sure, but it's also a ton of fun. Plus, the views from the end of the spit are out of this world. And here's a fun fact for you. Homer is home to the largest population of bald eagles in the lower 48 states. So if you're lucky, you might just spot one of these majestic creatures soaring overhead. But here's the thing about Homer that really gets me. It's the kind of place that just makes you want to slow down and soak it all in. There's a certain magic to this place, a sense of peace and tranquility that's hard to describe. And there you have it, folks. Our epic journey through the top 10 bucket list destinations in Alaska has come to an end. We've seen glaciers, mountains, wildlife, and everything in between. We've explored bustling cities, charming towns, and vast wilderness areas. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for more content like this. Stay informed, stay safe, safe travels, and we'll see you in the next video.